Legendary singer Roberta Flack passed away at the age of 88 on February 24, 2025. Flack, known for her soulful voice and timeless hits like Killing Me Softly with his song and The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, died peacefully surrounded by her family. Her representatives confirmed the cause of death was not disclosed, but Flack had been battling ALS since 2022, which had affected her ability to sing. "We are heartbroken that the glorious Roberta Flack passed away this morning, February 24, 2025, the statement said. She died peacefully surrounded by her family. Flack's music career soared in the 1970s with chart-topping hits including Feel Like Makin Love, Where Is the Love, and The Closer I Get to You. She was the first artist to win the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in back-to-back years with The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face in 1973 and Killing Me Softly with his song in 1974. The latter gained renewed popularity decades later with a cover by the Fugees. In total, Flack received 14 Grammy nominations, winning 5, including a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2020. Her influence continues to resonate across generations, making her one of the most distinctive voices in pop music history. Beyond her music career, Flack was also an advocate for education and founded the Roberta Flack Foundation in 2010 to support music education. She was known for her commitment to philanthropy and her influence extended beyond the stage. Roberta Flack's passing follows the recent deaths of other prominent figures in the entertainment industry, including Marianne Faithfull, Paul Damon, and Liam Payne. Roberta Cleopatra Flack, February 10, 1937 – February 24, 2025, was an American singer and pianist known for her emotive, genre-blending ballads that spanned R&B, jazz, folk, and pop and contributed to the birth of Quiet Storm. Her commercial success included the Billboard Hot 100 chart-topping singles The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, Killing Me Softly with his song and Feel Like Makin Love. She became the first artist to win the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in consecutive years. Flack frequently collaborated with Donny Hathaway, with whom she recorded several hit duets, including Where Is the Love and The Closer I Get to You. As one of the defining voices of 1970s popular music, she remained active in the industry, later finding success with duets such as You're Looking Like Love to Me, Tonight, I Celebrate My Love and As Long as There's Christmas, all with Peabo Bryson 1983 and Set the Night to Music with Maxi Priest 1991. Across her decades-long career, she interpreted works by songwriters such as Leonard Cohen and members of the Beatles. In 2020, Flack received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Flack was born on February 10, 1937, in Black Mountain, North Carolina, to parents Laurent Flack, a U.S. Veterans Administration draftsman, and Irene Nee Council Flack, a church organist. Some sources have cited 1939, but the 1940 census lists Roberta as being 3 years old. 9/10 she grew up in Arlington, Virginia. Growing up in a large, musical family, she often accompanied the choir of Lomax African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church by playing hymns and spirituals on piano. But she also enjoyed going to the Baptist church down the street to listen to contemporary gospel music, including songs performed by Mahalia Jackson and Sam Cooke. When Flack was 9, she took an interest in playing the piano during her early teens. Flack excelled at classical piano and Howard University awarded her a full music scholarship. By age 15, Flack entered Howard University in Washington, D.C., making her one of the youngest students ever to enroll there. She eventually changed her major from piano to voice and became an assistant conductor of the university choir. Her direction of a production of Aida received a standing ovation from the Howard University faculty. Flack became a student teacher at a school near Chevy Chase, Maryland. She graduated from Howard University at 19 and began graduate studies in music there, but the sudden death of her father forced her to take a job teaching music and English in Farmville, North Carolina. Before becoming a professional singer-songwriter, Flack returned to Washington, D.C., and taught at Banneker, Brown, and Rabat Junior High Schools. She also taught private piano lessons out of her home on Euclid Street, NW, in the city. During that time, her music career began to take shape on evenings and weekends in nightclubs. At the Tivoli Club, she accompanied opera singers at the piano. During intermissions, she would sing blues, folk, and pop standards in a back room, accompanying herself on the piano. Later she performed several nights a week at the 1520 Club, began providing her own piano accompaniment. About this time, her voice teacher, Frederick Wilkie Wilkerson, told her that he saw a brighter future for her in pop music than in the classics. Flack modified her repertoire accordingly, and her reputation spread. In 1968, she began singing professionally when she was hired to perform regularly at Mr. Henry's restaurant, located on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. In the 1970s, Flack sang and played jazz in a Washington, D.C. nightclub. American jazz pianist and vocalist Les Makin attended one of these sessions and later wrote in the liner notes of what would be her first album, First Take. Her voice touched, tapped, trapped, and kicked every emotion I've ever known. I laughed, cried, and screamed for more. She alone had the voice. Very quickly he arranged an audition for her with Atlantic Records, during which she played 42 songs in 3 hours for producer Joel Doran. In November 1968, she recorded 39 song demos in less than 10 hours. 3 months later, Atlantic reportedly recorded Flack's debut album, First Take, in a mere 10 hours. In 1971, Flack participated in the legendary Soul to Soul concert filmed by Dennis Sanders, which was headlined by Wilson Pickett along with Ike the Tina Turner, Santana, the Staple Singers, Les Makin, Eddie Harris, the Voices of East Harlem, and others. The U.S. delegation of musical artists featured in the film was invited to perform for the 14th anniversary of African independence in Ghana. The film was digitally reissued on DVD and CD in 2000, but Flack declined permission for her image and recording to be included for unknown reasons. Her a cappella performance of the traditional spiritual O Freedom retitled Freedom song on the original Soul to Soul LP soundtrack is only available in the VHS version of the film. Flack's cover version of Will You Love Me Tomorrow hit number 76 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1972. Her Atlantic recordings did not sell particularly well, until actor-director Clint Eastwood chose a song from First Take, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, written by Ewan MacColl, for the soundtrack of his directorial debut Play Misty for Me. It became the biggest hit of the year for 1972, spending 6 consecutive weeks at No. 1 and earning Flack a million-selling gold disc. It finished the year as Billboard's top song of 1972. The First Take album also went to No. 1 and eventually sold 1.9 million copies in the United States. Eastwood, who paid $2,000 for the use of the song in the film, remained an admirer and friend of Flack's ever after. It was awarded the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in 1973. In 1983, she recorded the end music to the Dirty Harry film's Sudden Impact at Eastwood's request. In 1972, Flack began recording regularly with Donny Hathaway, scoring hits such as the Grammy-winning Where Is the Love 1972 and later The Closer, I Get to You 1978, both million-selling gold singles. Flack and Hathaway recorded several duets together, including 2 LPs, until Hathaway's 1979 death. After his death, Flack released their final LP as Roberta Flack featuring Donny Hathaway. On her own, Flack scored her second No. 1 hit in 1973, Killing Me Softly, with his song written by Charles Fox, Norman Gimbelel, and Lori Lieberman. It was awarded both Record of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Performance, Female at the 1974 Grammy Awards. Its parent album was Flack's biggest-selling disc, eventually earning double platinum certification. In 1974, Flack released Feel Like Makin Love, which became her third and final No. 1 hit to date on the Hot 100. She produced the single and her 1975 album of the same name under the pseudonym Robina Flake. In 1974, Flack sang the lead on a Sherman Brothers song called Freedom, which featured prominently at the opening and closing of the movie Huckleberry Finn. In the same year, she performed When We Grow Up with a teenage Michael Jackson on the television special, Free to Be, You and Me, and a year later in 1975 performed to Johnny Mark's songs, To Love and Be Loved and When Autumn Comes for the animated Christmas special, The Tiny Tree. Flack had a 1982 hit single with Making Love, written by Burt Bacharach, the title track of the 1982 film of the same name, which reached No. 13. She began working with Peter Bryson, charting as high as No. 2 on the UK charts with Tonight, I Celebrate My Love in 1983. In 1986, Flack sang the theme song entitled Together Through the Years for the NBC television series Valerie, later known as the Hogan family. The song was used throughout the show's 6 seasons. In 1987, Flack supplied the voice of Michael Jackson's mother in the 18-minute short film For Bad. Oasis was released in 1988 and failed to make an impact with pop audiences, though the title track reached No. 1 on the R&B chart, and a remix of Oh Look Out Here It Comes topped the dance chart in 1989, after failing to chart on the Billboard Hot 100. In 1991, Flack found herself again in the US Top 10 with a cover of the Diane Warren Penn song Set the Night to Music, performed as a duet with Maxi Priest that peaked at No. 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts and No. 2 AC. In 1999, a star with Flack's name was placed on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In the same year, she gave a concert tour in South Africa. During her tour of the country, she performed Killing Me Softly for President Nelson Mandela at his home in Johannesburg. 36 in 2010, she appeared on the 52nd Annual Grammy Awards, singing a duet of Where Is the Love with Maxwell. Flack influenced the subgenre of contemporary R&B called Quiet Storm, and interpreted songs by songwriters such as Leonard Cohen and members of the Beatles. In February 2012, Flack released Let It Be Roberta, an album of Beatles covers including Hey Jude and Let It Be. It was her first recording in 8 years. Flack knew John Lennon and Yoko Ono, as both parties lived in the Dakota apartment building in New York City and had apartments next door to each other. Flack said that she had been asked to do a second album of Beatles covers. In 2013, she was reported to be involved in an interpretative album of the Beatles classics. At the age of 80, Flack recorded Running for the closing credits song of the 2018 feature documentary 3100, Run and Become, with music and lyrics by Michael A. Levine. In 1971, the Village Voice critic Robert Christgau reported that Flack is generally regarded as the most significant new black woman singer since Aretha Franklin, and at moments she sounds kind, intelligent, and very likable. But she often exhibits the gratuitous gentility you'd expect of someone who says Between You and I, reviewing her body of work from the 1970s. He later argued that the singer has nothing whatsoever to do with rock and roll or rhythm and blues, and almost nothing to do with soul, comparing her middle-of-the-road aesthetic to Barry Manilow but with better taste, which he believed does not necessarily guarantee more enduring music in the long run. Pop lies are improved by vulgarity. Writer and music critic Ann Powers argued in a 2020 piece for NPR that Flack's presence looms over both R&B and indie bedroom pop as if she were one of the astral beings in Ava DuVernay's version of A Wrinkle in Time. Jason King argued that she occupies a complex place in popular music, as the nature of her power as a performer to generate rapturous, spellbinding mood music and to plumb the depths of soulful heaviness by way of classically informed technique is not too easy to claim or make sense with the limited tools that we have in music criticism. Flack's minimalist, classically trained approach to her songs was seen by a number of critics as lacking in grit and uncharacteristic of soul music. According to music scholar Jason King, her work was regularly described with the adjectives boring, depressing, lifeless, studied, and calculated. In contrast, AllMusic's Steve Huey said it has been called classy, urbane, reserved, smooth, and sophisticated. Flack was a member of the Artist Empowerment Coalition, which advocates for artists to have the right to control their creative properties. She was also a spokeswoman for the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Her appearance in commercials for the ASPCA featured The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. The Hyde Leadership Charter School in the Bronx, NYC, ran an after-school music program called the Roberta Flack School of Music to provide free music education to underprivileged students in partnership with Flack, who founded the school. Flack was also an advocate for gay rights, stating that love is love, between a man and a woman, between two men, between two women. Love is universal, like music. From 1966 to 1972, she was married to Steve Novosel. Flack was the aunt of professional ice skater Rory Flack. She was also the godmother of musician Bernard Wright, who died in an accident on May 19, 2022. For 40 years, Flack had an apartment in the Dakota building in New York City that was right next door to the apartment of Yoko Ono and Sean Lennon. Lennon referred to her as Aunt Roberta. According to DNA analysis, she was of Cameroonian descent. In 2018, Flack was appearing on stage at the Apollo Theater at benefit for the Jazz Foundation of America. She became ill, left the stage, and was rushed to the Harlem Hospital Center. In a statement, her manager announced that Flack had a stroke a few years prior and still was not feeling well, but was doing fine and being kept overnight for medical observation. In late 2022, it was announced by a spokesperson that Flack had been diagnosed with ALS and had retired from performing, due to the disease making it impossible to sing. Flack died on February 24, 2025, at the age of 88. Initial reports stated that she died at home among her family. However, her manager, Suzanne Koga, stated she died from cardiac arrest on her way to the hospital in Manhattan. The American Music Awards is an annual awards ceremony created by Dick Clark in 1973. Flack received the award for Best Soul R&B Female Artist at the inaugural show in 1974. On May 11, 2017, Roberta Flack received an honorary doctorate degree in the arts from Long Island University. She was inducted into the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame in 2009. In 2021, Flack was one of the first inductees into the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame. On March 12, 2022, Flack was honored with the Dar Women in American History Award and a restored fire call box in the Capitol Hill neighborhood of Washington, D.C., commemorating her early career connection to nearby Mr. Henry's Neighborhood Bar. On January 24, 2023, the PBS series American Masters opened its 37th season with an hour-long look at her career. On May 13, 2023, Flack received an honorary doctorate from Berklee College of Music. The Grammy Awards are awarded annually by the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. Flack received 4 awards from 13 nominations. Flack's impressive range of influences and collaborators was testament to her multidisciplinary approach and idiosyncratic style. She dueted with Michael Jackson, toured with Miles Davis, and covered Leonard Cohen and Laura Nyro. After her initial success, she became associated with the growth of Quiet Storm, a deep, mature and ruminative offshoot of R&B which later inspired the likes of Erykah Badu, D'Angelo and the Fugees, whose own take on Killing Me Softly would rival Flack's to be the definitive version. More recently, in 2012, Flack released a string of Beatles covers in an album titled Let It Be Roberta. She once told a journalist, "What I consider myself is a soulful singer, in that I try to sing with all the feeling that I have in my body and my mind. A person with true soul is one who can take anybody's song and transcend all the flaws, the technique, and just make you listen." After becoming unwell on stage in 2018, her manager revealed that Flack had suffered a stroke some years earlier. In 1966, Flack married jazz musician Steve Novosel. The couple divorced in 1972, and a later marriage also ended in divorce. Among others paying tribute to Flack was Oscar-winning singer and actor Jennifer Hudson, who said she was one of the great soul singers of all time. Rest well, Ms. Flack. Your legacy lives on.